Hey guys, Kill the Movie King, and I'm back again with another movie review. And today I'm reviewing an underrated gem that people don't really talk about, and that is the horror comedy Idle Hands. Now, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel once I watched, put this movie in, because I haven't watched this movie in years, so it still holds up for me. It still holds up for me. Idle Hands was directed by Rodman Flender. I'm not really sure about the director. I know he directed Leprechaun 2. Not really a fan of the Leprechaun movies. I have seen all of them, but I don't remember them. Maybe I'll have to review them down the road. But I'm not a fan of the Leprechaun movies. The movie Idle Hands has a big cast. Some of them are bigger nowadays than the others, but it has a big cast that most people know who they are. It has Seth Green, from Robot Chicken, from, Austin Powers, Can't Hardly Wait. I know him from, the first time I ever seen Seth Green was from It. He's one of the kids in It movie. Now they're making a remake. The original It, Seth Green was one of the kids in there. Beep beep Richie. But they have Devon, Sawa. If you guys don't know who he is, he's the lead in Final Destination. He's the lead guy in this movie. He plays the character of Anton, the guy that's hand basically becomes possessed because it was an idle hand. I don't know if I mentioned we have Jessica Alba, Vivica Fox, Elden Henson. If you guys don't know who Elden Henson is, he stars in the Daredevil TV series. He plays Foggy. I really think that Elden Henson is actually an underrated actor because he's actually a good actor. I like him in the Daredevil series. I do enjoy the Daredevil series, especially season 2 because it has my man Punisher in there. He was good in Butterfly Effect. I always remember him in that in the room where he was. I don't even want to give the scene because I don't remember that well. But he was in the room and. I know he freaks out when Mr. Kutcher comes to visit him in the room, but I always remember he had this kind of menacing personality in that scene. It kind of freaked me out, that scene, but I don't really remember it. As you can tell, I'm jumbling my words, but this is about Idle Hands, so let's just get right into it. So, Anton is a pothead. His friends are Seth Green and Elden. They're his pothead buddies where he gets his pot from. He doesn't do anything but smoke weed. He has a crush on his neighbor, who's Jessica Alba. He wakes up and discovers he doesn't have control from his hand anymore. His hand is possessed because it's been too idle, and they say the idle hand is the devil's basically, the devil loves the idle hand or something like that. I don't want to give you the wrong quote, but they said something like that. His hand's basically possessed, and because of that, he can't control his hand, and that's when all the carnage begins. This movie is hilarious. It's a horror comedy. That's the thing you gotta know. You can't go into this movie thinking it's a straight-up horror movie, because you will be disappointed. It's funny. It's not gory. It has a lot of blood splatter. A lot of kills are off screen, but we do get some kills that you do get to see on screen, and there is one scene, I'm going to say it's a spoiler. Spoiler, stop it right now if you haven't seen the movie. If you want to see it, stop. Anyways, there is one cool scene where the cops that are investigating, because this town that he's in, they're suspecting there's just a serial killer that's going around killing people. There's a murderer on the loose in this small town. So these cops that went to school with Anton, are now cops, but they went to school with him and they were bullied by him, I bet, or by the kids when they were going to school. Now they're cops, so they kind of have a vendetta against them. They spy on him. Well, they hear some noise, so they spy on him. They look through the window and kind of have to push a little back. I kind of jumped ahead, but they see him with his two corpses, Seth Green and Elden. There's another spoiler. He sees him with the two corpses. So they come into the house to arrest him. He wants to get arrested. That's the funny thing, is Anton wants to get arrested because he doesn't want to kill people. He just can't control himself. His hand is just out of control, and he's telling the cops to cuff him. He even keeps yelling out, "Cuff me, cuff me, cuff me!" And he's holding his knitting because he's trying to keep his hand occupied. Because remember, if he his hand has been idle, and because his hand has been idle, it's possessed. Yes, it's a stupid, stupid, stupid synopsis, but I love it. Anyways, the cops about to handcuff him, and the hand just takes control and just stabs him right through the head, like just with one of the picks, just right through the head. And it shows it really great. No CGI. It's all practical. That's the great thing about it. Another spoiler, when I'm talking about the corpse, it kind of has this like American London and American Werewolf in Paris. I don't know why I'm mentioning that movie, that piece of shit, but American Werewolf in London. Remember when American Werewolf in London, his friend got murdered by the werewolf. He starts seeing his friend. Kind of has the same thing. When he murders, he does end up murdering Seth Green and Elden. And they come back alive. And they're following. But the only thing is, in American Werewolf in London, only the main character could see his friend. Nobody else could. But in Idle Hands, everybody could see these guys. And it's funny because Seth Green, he basically kills Seth Green by stabbing him with a beer bottle in the head. So he has the beer bottle just stuck in his head. I'll put a picture. It'll pop up here. So, up here. So you can see it. And in Elden, he got decapitated basically. So he has no head at all. So he's headless, and he's walking around headless, and eventually Seth Green gets a, what did he put on there? I think he puts like he puts a little pole in his head, and he sticks the head in there, so because he was getting annoyed by him just walking around headless, and, you know, it's just a funny movie. I mean, you can't take it seriously. The soundtrack of the movie has a lot of those 90s, like, how the best to describe it is like American Pie kind of music. I mean, if you remember back in the 90s when they had all those American Pie, I Can't Hardly Wait, they would always add like a band in there, like an American Pie. They had Blink-182. Now, Idle Hands, they have Offspring. I do believe, if I can remember correctly, the trailers for this movie had Offspring on the chorus. I believe. I could be wrong, but I didn't mind the soundtrack. They even have this cool Rob Zombie song in the movie, so the soundtrack's cool. I didn't mind it at all. Any flaws I have with the movie? The flaws I do have in the movie is it does have that American Pie feel to it, that Can't Hardly Wait. And I mean, back in the day when I was in junior high, when those movies came out, I did enjoy them. But I have watched them now that I'm much older, and I mean, like American Pie, when Homeboy's when that Homeboy's singing that, how sweet it is, it's just cringeworthy. I can't stand it. It's just corny. I'm just like, oh, I can't stand this guy. But back in the day, I didn't mind it. I guess it's how time changes. When you get older, some things change for you, but that's the only negative thing I can really say about this movie. Vivica Fox in the movie is actually not bad. Usually you'll see her in these now directed DVD movies or movies with Jean-Claude Van Damme or Steven Seagal, all shitty movies. She's shitty now. I mean, she's always in shitty movies. Cause I don't like that movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, even though I'm a huge Jean-Claude Van Damme fan. I do not like that directed DVD movie they did together. And Steven Seagal, fuck Steven Seagal. But and Jessica Alba, she's good in this movie. I mean, I've never really had a problem with Jessica Alba. A lot of people do. A lot of people, but oh, she can't act. But I don't have a problem with Jessica Alba. She doesn't annoy me. So she was cool in this movie. I don't know. She plays this kind of freak character in this movie, and it's funny, the interaction with her and Anton. It's not a spoiler, sorry, but I really can't talk about this movie without spoiling it. And it's an old movie, came out in 1999. If you have not seen this movie by then, I don't know what's wrong with you. But he ends up going to her house. He doesn't want to go to her house, but he can't control his hand. His hand even rings the doorbell. He's all trying to pull it away, and he just can't. It keeps ringing it, and it even like throws him back, and he falls out. Falls off her balcony. She ends up bringing him up in the room, and he ties his hand up because he does, you know, every time he's making out with her, his hand just keeps trying to choke her, so he's, you know, moves it away, chokes her. And that's the thing about Devon Sawa, he did good acting in this because he really, I mean, you really believe that he can't control his hand, how he's acting with his hand. It doesn't look corny or anything like that. It really looks like he can't control his hand. He does a really good job on doing that. So I really think people should check out this movie. I mean, if you like movies like Tucker and Dale, check this movie out. You will not be sorry. I believe it's really underrated. I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's my favorite movie, but it's a solid B+, man. I'm giving it a B+. This movie was fun. I laughed. I mean, another spoiler, sorry once again, but I mean, he killed his own mom and dad. I mean, he doesn't mean to, but he kills his own mom and dad. He kills his best friends. I mean, they don't shy away. It's not a stupid like lovey-dovey movie. It's kind of like Tucker and Dale. Like, they don't hold back. Like, he kills. I mean, he can't control himself. His hand kills, and it kills. Anyways, B+, Idle Hands. Check it out if you have not seen it. That's all I gotta say. This is Kill the Movie King, signing off.